know it's kind of a little bit of a trigger word for some of you. There have been so many MOBA announced in these past couple of years, and pretty much just as many canceled and shut down games in the genre too. So a little bit of a tragedy, and it is just really a very competitive genre for developers and players alike, absolutely. But I believe I have sifted through the sand, I have found the treasures, and if you allow me to say, honestly, I think these are going to be the 10 games that have a true fighting chance at becoming and standing alongside the Titans. But don't worry guys, if you're not fans of MOBAs, I think you're going to find something interesting about some of these games. Originality is kind of the trend with this list. So if you're looking for something new in a genre completely riddled with repetition, then keep your eyeballs peeled. Let's get into the list. Okay, so the first game on the list is a game called Arena of Fate, and I can't actually explain too much about the game because it has an NDA, but what I can tell you is that it's going to use fairy tale and storybook type of characters, kind of in the vein of how Smite uses mythology. Yeah, it's like that. And the matches are going to be extremely brief. In fact, there is literally a time limit on the matches. It's supposed to be fast, furious, very small arena fun, as the namesake would have it. Maybe this will be something more in vein of like a light MOBA, which is something we would see on mobile devices. I don't know if it will end up being cross-platform or not, but Arena of Fate so far looks pretty good as long as it goes for that cutesy, funsy kind of thing moving forward. Yeah, absolutely, it'll succeed in that niche. Next on the list at number 9, we have a game that is very much pushing the limits of what maybe we could define as a MOBA, that is Smash and Grab, which is an underground competition apparently where gangs of the future battle it out for loot, weapons, and infamy inside a corporate urban dystopia. Yeah, okay, when I first saw this game, I didn't quite realize that it was a MOBA, but now that I see some of the mechanics, like the creep mechanics and the AI mechanics that play alongside other players, and you're fighting other players in a PvP arena, I mean, to me that defines a MOBA, really. It's just pretty cool that instead of just like purchasing items in a shop, it's just straight up you jump into people's faces and smash them with items that you stole. Coming in at number 8 is a game that was literally just announced. It's called Breakaway. Apparently, it's going to have this big influence with streamers. Like, it actually influences the gameplay in a way. I mean, this is actually a partnership of Amazon and Twitch making a game. So, yeah, Breakaway is a sports MOBA. We haven't seen too many games like this. Very few, and mostly on mobile devices. So, it's pretty cool to see something like a light, sporty type of MOBA come out, and a big push toward the whole Amazon Twitch streaming thing. It could be great, it could flop, but either way, it is original, and I can't wait to see how it turns out. Okay, let's talk about Supernova. As far as traditional MOBA go, top-down isometric, 3 lanes, itemizations, the characters and the abilities you come to expect, all that stuff, Supernova is a traditional MOBA in that genre. And so, in that sense, at first glance, maybe it looks familiar. And it should, absolutely. But there's a lot of tweaks to the game that make it extremely, extremely exciting. Little tweaks to the jungle, little tweaks to the character's abilities and the progression, how the itemization is split up between actual items and upgrades, and then you have these attributes that you can actually level up individually on your character, and then you have these commander abilities, and then you actually choose the creeps that go down the lanes, and all sorts of crazy stuff. So yeah, first glance it looks familiar, but trust me, jump into the game and you'll see how different it is. Okay, now next up we got a MOBA that just looks at, first glance, at the very first peep of the game, it's like, top-down, isometrical, different characters, abilities and stuff. So yeah, I'm okay, I've seen this game before. No, you haven't. Master is such a weird game, okay? You mix and match teams of characters, like one player, okay, it plays as 2 characters. You swippity swap and switch different characters. In the heat of combat, you have different crazy combos that you can utilize because of that. And then also, it doesn't just focus on PvP either. Yeah, there's the PvE element. And also, this borrows different characters from the publisher NCSoft's other games, such as Guild Wars 2, and even Blade and Soul, and maybe more. Okay friends, halfway through the list, we got something that's gonna rustle some jimmies. I know it's a game called Paladins. I know, it's a hero shooter, but dude, when the game first came out, it was very MOBA-ish. And then it took away some MOBA aspects and then added some afterwards, and I don't know, man, Paladins is fluid, dude. It can change so much. And at its core, it's this really fun and lighthearted game, and it's silly, and because of that, it's allowed. It has an allowance of fluidity. It can do whatever it wants. It can have serious, hero shooter game modes like Payload and Siege, or it can jump around and do all sorts of crazy weird stuff, just like Smite does. So I think Paladins has the potential to be called a MOBA, so that's it. It's a cool game, I'm putting it at number 5. Alright friends, let's talk about King of Wushu. I'm pretty sure you guys have heard about this game now that it's coming to PS4 as well. So this game is going to be directly competing with Paragon and Smite. It's very much set in sort of that same sort of genre, the third-person action MOBA genre. However, King of Wushu, what separates it from the other games is that it's really focused on that whole like martial arts, like, you know, that fantasy kung fu action, but set in a team-based, you know, MOBA game. For the makers of a popular Wushu MMO, hopefully we can take some of those concepts and bring it into the arena. At number 4, we've got an action MOBA that directly competes with Smite, and that is Paragon. Okay, this is made by Epic Games and their new Unreal Engine 4. It looks freaking gorgeous, absolutely uncontested, amazing graphics. However, it is a little bit slower paced, but in the slower paced, you get a lot of intricate gameplay mechanics that you just don't have in other action MOBA. Okay, so yeah, it might have a more tame action-y action in other action MOBA, but it does bring a couple of other things to the table, like a little bit of verticality and a little bit of longer fights that allow for plays and outplays. No, friends, I could probably pretty much go on and on about how the game is, you know, deceivingly complicated actually under its very beautiful and simple surface. Number 2, we have a game called Gigantic. Now, it has changed publishers from Microsoft, Xbox, using the Windows Store, to being a Perfect World game. So we'll see how it changes and how it evolves from there. But when I did play it, the core concept, when I saw the trailers and the videos, and I watched the streams, dude, I was so enthralled by this game that I actually applied. I was gonna make videos for Gigantic. I really wanted that to happen. They went through a stumble, but I think they picked themselves up. I want to see where they're going from here. Gigantic, dude, you fight raid bosses. There's different phases, and then you have these little summonable creatures, and the gameplay is so fast and mechanical. It's really a very difficult shooter. There's such a huge skill ceiling, and I can just gush and gush about every little part of this game. I'm absolutely in love with Gigantic. And for my personal list of upcoming MOBA, it's gotta be the hype of Battle Right. Now, why is this game? It seems extremely tame, right? Small arenas, only 3v3. Well, the truth is that we gotta look at things realistically, okay? There's certain things that you can be ambitious about, but when I can tangibly play a game and feel it and love it and already see it as a finished product when it's early access and I'm already competitive and I'm already just doing tons of videos on my personal channel on every single character and maybe even individual abilities and tips and tricks, and I'm already thinking about all these things, the cogs are turning. Holy crap, guys. Battle Right has the community just as enthralled as me. It's doing much better than the predecessor game. Battle Right is looking really awesome. I love its aesthetic. I'm loving its gameplay, and just watching it is really fun. It's not too erratic. It's not too chaotic with its abilities and its gameplay. It's simple. It's streamlined, but there is so much going on in that little arena of Battle Right. Check out some gameplay for yourself. I've got tons of it on my channel. And because of how tangible the epicosity is in Battle Right, I know there's absolutely zero chance of failure already. The game is already a success, and that's why it's number 1. Alright friends, you might want to go get some eye drops. You're probably going to need it after the intense exposure to hyper radiation that you just had. Jokes aside, I really hope you guys had fun with the video, and I hope even more so that you have fun with the games. I'm sure most of them are going to release pretty soon here. You're not going to have to wait too long. A lot of them already completely playable and completely enjoyable. And absolutely, as a testament to that, you can actually see my streams and see my videos of me playing these different games, all the different characters, every match filled with excitement, making friends and enemies sometimes. But in the end, that's me. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below.